And what's going on, everybody? It's your boy DJ X-REY and the host right here, that Barbie chick, Miss Patricia Vargas. What's going on? How are you guys? Hope everybody's doing good. Today we got Miss Patsy Torres. We're just waiting on her to join us. Hope everybody had a beautiful holiday. I got to spend it with family. Got to spend it with the wife and the grandkids, and got to hang out with the kids and do all that stuff. My daughter actually hosted it this year, which was kind of crazy because we didn't hardly do anything. We just showed up and we were like, what do we do?
Eat. Eat and drink and have fun. I can't wait for that stage. I got a long way to go. My daughter's only 6.
Oh my goodness.
How was everybody's New Year's? Hello, Happy New Year. Happy 2024. I hope that you haven't already broken some resolutions that you made. I say they're not resolutions, they're just resets, just solutions to some issues you already had. So if you quote unquote broke one of your New Year's resolutions, don't worry about it. Just do a reset and continue on. But I stayed home too. I stayed home. I did go on New Year's Eve though. I did.
I did too. We went and hung out with some friends, and we watched. I have a friend of mine. He does well, this is the first time I got to see it, but he does he spends like $500 on fireworks, and he does this crazy fireworks deal. His whole neighborhood, it looked like you were watching the Stars Over Texas back in the day when he used to do it downtown. So that was pretty cool. We got to watch that, got to hang out with the wife. I'd went to, I had the tailgate that day too. So I was up for like 24 hours. Big H Tailgater, shout out to them. We got tailgater. They got tailgater of the year, so props to them. It was a big old deal that they had. The Texans set up they set up right in between NRG and the Astrodome, and it was like 8 teams going against each other. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's some diehard fans out there that go crazy with that tailgating stuff.
We know about H-Town. Hello, come on. We all are diehard fans for football, for our Houston Astros.
They go
and cook-offs and tailgating, and that's what we're all about. But I did go see Grupo Fijo when we had them on our podcast. We said that when they gave us the invite that we were going to go out. So I did go live out there for Grupo Fijo out at the Zone Sports Bar in Houston.
And how was that show?
It was good. It was good. I won $5 on the balloon drop. Oh, yay. So I rung in the New Year. I didn't get a kiss on the New Year's. I was by myself. I didn't dance, but I got $5. So, hey, I'll welcome money in for the New Year. I'm good with that.
Hey, you have money. Somebody used to tell me you always have to have money in your pocket when you start the New Year's, or you'll end up broke. And I'm like, I'm always trying to make sure I got money.
Well, thankfully, in that balloon drop, I was able to get some money, so that was good. But yeah, we had a good time. The band rocked it, of course, and it was pretty nice. They decorated it very nice inside. Everybody had like one of those champagne bottles with the confetti, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, okay. So, shout out real quick to Miss Velvet Ramirez. ¿Cómo estás out there, Phoenix, Arizona? Donna Perales. Music Highlights was watching us. Becky Hendricks Almador. I hope I said that right, because if I don't, I hate saying people's last names and getting it wrong. We got Travis Landeros checking us out. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got the one and only Miss Patsy Torres coming up, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There she is. Just
hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh, Barbie, this is Patsy. Dr. Torres. This is that Barbie chick, Patricia Vargas. This is Dr. Patsy Torres. Welcome.
So she's a tocaya, and she's also Barbie doll.
Yes. Hey, so real quick, I have been trying to get an interview set up with you since I saw you at the All-Star Music Awards.
Oh,
You remember that crazy day, right?
The rain and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So the funny story is they had the All-Star Music Awards that were supposed to happen outside at an outdoor theater.
Yes.
And all of a sudden it was gloomy a little bit during the day, but then all of a sudden it just started pouring down rain when people showed up. So thankfully one of the hotels let us move it in, and we moved it in the hotel, but we were all sitting. My socks, everything were wet. It was
and
just,
that was actually pretty amazing that the hotel did that. That was really good.
Yeah,
yes,
that was very nice of them.
they got the tables, the room, everything set up in a heartbeat. And I was like, man, this is,
Wow.
I'm like, Jesse, you might want to talk to him about doing it in here next year.
Yeah, I mean, you can't trust the weather. I mean,
No, you can't.
You're taking a big risk when you're doing that.
Yes. So, Miss Dr. Patsy Torres, ¿cómo estás? How are you?
Yes.
Let everybody who doesn't know who you are, but I did some research on you, and I did not know you started out as a trumpet player.
Yes. In fact, I still play my trumpet.
I was going to ask that question if you still play it.
Yes. Not as good as I used to, though. I can't last that long. After a while, my lips just go boop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow.
you started out, if I'm correct, Blue Harmony was the group that you started out with? Was that what the name was?
It was Blue Harmony, and I was just the trumpet player. I didn't sing or anything. And I was happy just to be in the back playing my horn with the other horn players.
And this was back in high school, correct? If I remember correctly, when I was reading.
High school. And my sister was also in the band, and she was a sax player.
Oh, wow. So you had the whole brass section covered.
Oh, yeah. We had another trumpet and a trombone player.
Oh, that's
big brass
awesome.
section.
Wow.
Wow.
In fact, I knew all the Tejano music on the horn, not singing it. I was playing Latin Breed and Sonny and, all of them on Mucho on my horn. I could still play, like Las Nubes on my horn.
Wow, that would be awesome to hear. That would be awesome to hear. So a little bit. So you started out trumpet playing, and you were in high school when you started getting into singing and playing instruments and performing and everything. And then you got into, that's how you put yourself through college, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I read.
That is. That's how I started making money. Well, I had planned to be a medical doctor.
Okay.
Playing trumpet in high school, that was just fun, with friends. And then when we graduated and my sister got married and left, and some of the guys left, and the new guys that came in decided they didn't need a big old brass section when one keyboard player could do it. And that's when they said, well, we're going to get rid of the whole horn section. I just started college, and I needed to pay my rent and my food. and I was like giving them the pity story, like, and they said, well, I guess we could keep you if you could sing. And I was like, oh no. So we'll try, we'll try you out, see if you can sing. A lot of the groups have girl singers, so see how it goes. And that's how I started singing. They made me sing.
They made you sing. You didn't have any kind of desire to sing back then?
Wow. I never dreamed of being a singer. I wasn't in choir. I didn't dream of being in a band or doing music. It was all the medical field I wanted to be in.
Wow. This was just a way to pay the bills. Look where you are.
And it was fun. I was there with my sister, but when she left, then I was just with a bunch of guys, but they were like brothers,
Yeah.
And they were very, very respectful. And I wanted to be a medical doctor because of my grandfather, Dr. Torres. He was a medical doctor, and I was just so inspired by him, his education, how the patients loved him. And I wanted to be like him, make a difference and heal, and so the music was paying for my school. So I started college and was taking my sciences and all the other requirements that are needed and just paying with the music.
Wow.
And you did that while going to college and medical school and all that. You were performing, and my goodness, because I know kids nowadays that freak out that are in college period, just going out to do their 4 years in business or something like that. But you were performing and going to medical school and all that other stuff. Wow.
Well, at that time I was just going to the beginning. Medical school. Yeah, I was taking courses like biology and calculus and trig and zoology and chemistry and all that. But it wasn't med school, because that was going to be the next step.
Uh-huh.
Graduated. And the music, but my singing just took off when I got discovered, and
Wow.
they started calling me a singer, and I got a record deal, and I was still like, oh, they're going to figure out I'm not a real singer. They would interview me and they'd say, so tell us about yourself. How long you been singing? And I was like, 9 months. You know, who's your inspiration? My grandfather, Dr. Torres.
Oh.
Okay,
So what's the future? I'm a trumpet player that's going to be a doctor. I would never say I was going to be a singer because I felt like I was fooling everybody. I'm not a singer, but hey,
Wow.
I'm buying my books.
I know you have the title of doctor. So did you go to medical school and get to finish it?
Well, what happened was I kept going. I graduated with my first science degree.
Okay.
And sat down with my grandfather because that was going to be the major medical school to go to after that. So I sat down with my grandfather, Dr. Torres, and I told him I couldn't do both anymore. It was just, I couldn't be in school. And because now the music, I was touring and I had sponsorships to do. And then I started doing programs in schools for kids, stay in school.
Oh,
because
cool.
they knew I was studying in college. So I kept getting called by the mayor and all these different associations to talk to kids. Sat down with my grandfather, told him I couldn't do both anymore. I needed that little push for him to say, okay, time to get serious, full-time school. Instead, he said, Chiquitita, you have a God-given gift.
Aww.
Now you're talking to kids, you're making a difference. You're doing preventative medicine.
Oh,
You're going to be a
love
doctor
that.
of the soul. You should sing.
I love that preventative medicine.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that he would tell me to do that. And I always believed that God spoke through him that day because I know he wanted me to be a doctor so bad, a medical doctor.
Uh-huh.
So time goes on and I'm doing all these different things. I start touring the world, Spain and Italy and Greece and Turkey and China and Japan.
We were reading that. I couldn't believe that. I was like, are you sure you got the right list when he was reading it to me? I was like, wow. I mean,
and then I was at Fiesta,
wow.
Texas for 10 years. I was doing my program called the Positive Force Tour, toured all over the country, played for over 1 million kids and making a difference with the kids and saying how important education is. And yet I hadn't finished, And I get a call from the University of the Incarnate Word and they say, hey, Patsy, we want you to do some promotions for us, but we can only pay you with semester hours.
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
Okay. So I'll try that out. Once I started doing it, I was like a sponge. I loved it. And they said, how would you like to get a degree here? And I was like, yes. He goes, we'll give you a scholarship. Just keep promoting us and sing for us whenever we need it.
Wow.
So next thing you know, I've got a master's in education. Then, because I made straight A's, the professors and the president of the university said, Patsy, we think you should go on. The professors are telling us. And I was like, what? I mean, I thought, okay, I got my master's. What am I going to? I never dreamed of going on for a PhD.
That's what I was asking the X-REY about, if she had a PhD.
It's a PhD. Yes. So, and I started telling people, hey, I've got this offer, telling my friends and family. They were like, well, how long does it take? And I said, well, 5 to 10 years. They went, estás loca? What do you need that for? You're a singer. You don't need that. And I was like, in fact, the only one that really supported me, because by that time my grandfather was gone, was my husband.
Well, that's good.
And my professor kept saying, Patsy, this is a great opportunity. Don't leave that money on the table. They're going to give you a scholarship for a PhD, a scholarship. Do you know how many you hear all the time about student loans and how they're buried?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking no student loan.
Wow.
And I said, well, so I told my family, told my friends, told everybody, you know what? In 5 or 10 years, I could be 5 or 10 years older, or I could be a doctor. I'm going to do it.
I'm so glad you did.
Awesome. Hey,
I went back to school. I had to pass the entrance exams and everything and do everything, just like everyone else, no special treatment. But right before we were getting ready to graduate, one of my peers said, the other doctoral students said, "Hey, what's it going to feel like when they call you Dr. Torres?" And I went, "Oh, my dream."
Right?
It had
My
me
dream
hit
to
you.
be Dr. Torres, doing preventative medicine,
I love
making
that.
a difference, doctor of the soul. So I call myself an edutainer.
Oh, I like that better.
Whenever I perform, I always end up teaching something.
Yes.
I can't help
Well,
it.
you're teaching us right now, honestly. You really are.
So real quick, I do this on every show because I like to acknowledge everybody that watches this because they could be doing anything else in the world. We got La Donna Chingona checking us out.
Hi,
We
Madonna.
We got Chrissy E from Corpus Christi, a very, very talented singer artist out of Corpus Christi. We got Vicky V in the house. She says, "Hello, Patsy."
Hi,
Of course, Miss Patsy, you have to know the Roland Martinez, the world's tallest DJ, and my partner here on the station, him and Lara. Shout out to them. Shout out to the South Bay Tejanos checking us out. I saw earlier we had George Salazar. Then we have Crisilda Leal, the RGV 956 in La Casa. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're checking out Dr. Patsy Torres. And just to let you know, George Salazar is a very, 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 very talented Tejano artist out of the Michigan Midwest area. And there's one thing that I learned when I started doing this show is Tejano is not because I was kind of like growing up as a kid, you know, you only saw it in Texas, right? So you didn't know that it reached out to California. It was in New Mexico, Arizona, Michigan. I didn't know it was in Michigan until I started doing this. And there's very, very, very talented artists, George Salazar, Junior Aldaco, and countless other artists that are from the Midwest that are carrying and bringing it out. Because when I was growing up, I was told Tejano music is Tex-Mex. It was, you know, born and bred in Texas and this and that. But but it's everywhere.
But it goes
they
everywhere.
love it all over the country. And when I went overseas, I was playing Tejano.
That's what I want to ask you. Let's talk about that. When you went overseas and you traveled, tell us some of your most memorable moments out there that you
it was the most, God, there were so many, but one that was really striking was we played in Berlin at Tempelhof in Germany.
Wow.
It was 45,000 Germans, the German people. And we're up on this big stage and we're playing, the accordion player's doing his thing. Well, the accordion originated in Germany.
Germany, correct.
And it's the polka beat. And they loved it.
Oh my God.
I mean, they kept coming up and bringing us things of beer. And it was in our contract that we couldn't, they said we couldn't have beer. And we were going 9, Bita, 9, which means no, please, no, please.
Oh, wow.
I learned a few words here and there just to be courteous.
Right.
But all just the looks on their faces, the way they reacted, it was just so awesome.
That is so cool.
And
how many countries
Elvis
have
Presley.
you? Oh, really?
They're not crazy. In fact, nowhere in the world are they crazy about Americans, but they love Elvis Presley and they love musicians.
Okay.
So, of course, I had to do an Elvis song. And they went crazy. I was like,
wow. That is so cool.
How did they respond to that? Because I know Elvis was big all over the place.
They loved it, and they loved it. Remember, he was stationed in Germany.
Yes. That's
So
what I was asking.
So I did a couple, Elvis songs, and they just went crazy. They just loved everything we did, and it was just such an awesome experience. And over there, in other countries, most everybody speaks 2 or 3 languages.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of them spoke English, So everywhere we went, this is the only, except for us, we speak Spanish and English, but most Americans only speak English.
Yes.
And everywhere else in the world, the bigger countries, they all speak 2, 3, 4 languages.
Wow.
We're like the only monolingual country.
So what you're saying is us here in the United States are kind of behind them as far as speaking different languages.
I've always felt that we were kind of behind anyways. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. How many countries have you traveled to? How many countries?
I think we counted it once. I think it was 13 countries.
Wow. I was reading earlier, you said Guam, you said, but I did read that you actually had went to China.
Yes.
I read that too. How was that? How was it?
China? Yeah.
Can you kind of give us an idea?
They reacted. They are so open to culture, and they have me perform at different universities. You know, for some of these college kids and some open markets also. And there was one big university, and they looked like they were maybe freshmen, but you know, the Asians are so tiny and they look younger than they are.
I know.
In fact, when we were in China, I thought having a flat stomach was impossible. Until I was in China, all of these girls and men, flat stomachs.
Wow.
Like, wow. There's something wrong over here. What's going on?
So what you're saying is we need to take a couple of taco stands and open them up in China.
Yes.
They won't be flat stomachs anymore.
There was a Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know,
wow.
Yeah. In Japan too. Japan
probably served with rice. White rice.
That's why they say, rice again.
So with going back to the school thing and everything, I think that's your desire and your passion to finish your degree and all that stuff is a breath of fresh air to hear, because of the simple fact that how many Latinos nowadays are dealing with so many things that we deal with, because you know some of our people are not well off as others. So I know a bunch of kids that work there. Like my son, he worked his butt off and he was in school, and he would call and tell me, he goes, Dad, this is not like high school. The work is harder. He said, and studying and having to go to classes in the morning, and he played baseball in college too. So he was going to practice. He was getting up to go to workouts. He told me, Dad, it's exhausting. He would come home and he would just sleep. And I'm, dude, get up and do something. He goes, you don't know what I've been through. So I really commend you, because I want that to get across on this interview, that how important education was to you. And if you could do it back then, especially starting off with the Hana music and touring and playing different gigs on the weekends and doing what you did during the day for your schoolwork, that's just a breath of fresh air to hear. And I want to make sure that these people in our audience get to hear it, and their kids get to hear it and say, hey, she could do it, you could do it. Because
that's right.
It's never too late too. It's never too late, because I'm sure you were already, later on in life when you got the scholarship, and
that was the best part. When you go back later on in life, you can really relate to the classes and the courses, because you've had some living and some experience. Because I remember when I first went to college, straight out of high school, I was just like, okay, you look at the class, what do I got to do to pass? What do I do to make the teacher happy? As soon as it's over, sell your books and throw away your papers, right?
That's true. No, she's right. She's right.
But when I went back, I made friends with all my professors. I just ate up the education. I saved my books. I saved my papers and referred to them. It was, and the debating in class was the best. But for anyone that's going to college, I have to tell you this. Yes, the bachelor's is hard. And it's kind of boring, because they make you take courses you really don't want to take, don't even need. But if you go on for your master's, the master's is fun. The master's is just, it's so different, because you are studying courses you want.
Correct.
You pick them. It's going to be the one that you want to advance with and have success. And it's just, I loved it. In fact, that's why it only took me 2 years to do my master's. So
wow.
Once I finished, and a lot of people, you can do it in 2 years. Once I finished and my professors were like, do the doctorate, I felt like, you know what? I'm still hungry. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. It was a lot harder. It took me 5 years to do that.
Wow. That's awesome. But you did it though. But you
did it. Yes.
That's the big thing that I want to get across, is that you actually did it, and you did it while, hey, let's just say it, you were one of the biggest Tejano artists at that time. And you still are today. You're a legend. I don't care what anybody says. You're a legend in my book, because you are trailblazers for these women that are taking over. Oh, she went somewhere. But real quick, she's a trailblazer for these women that are in the Tejano industry right now, like like Chrissy E and Shelly Lattice. I was saying you were a trailblazer for these artists now, like Chrissy E, Shelly Lattice, Stephanie Montiel,
My girls.
Angelica Alcocer, all these people that are blazing and tearing up the stage now. These women, I tell people all the time on my show, women are what's it right now in Tejano. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, you still have the legends, you still have Ram, you still have all of those. But there's so many women in Tejano now where back in the day in the 80s and the 90s, it was harder for them to get in. So what you did as far as performing as a Tejana artist and getting your master's and finishing school, that has to be commended because it was hard for you guys. It was hard for you guys to be in the industry back in the 80s and 90s when you guys first started. And real quick, I want to send a shout out real quick because we got a bunch of people jumping on and everybody saying hi. I want to send a shout out to the Fort Bend County Vaqueros trail riders, Fort Bend County Vaqueros trail riders. Support Patsy Torres, Tejano music.
Thank you.
Shout out to Jeremy Olivares. Shout out to Nilsa Roman Boricua. She is a Puerto Rican woman who is an amazing friend of mine. She helps us out with TejanoLive.com, and she loves Tejano music. We got Vicky V also. She hangs out with Nilsa Roman. Also, we got Tu Amigo Pete checking us out from his he got his own radio station out there, radio show. So make sure you gotta check out the Tejano, Tu Amigo Pete. He's on every morning. Pete, drop your times and everything like that. Let everybody know what time they can check you. My boy Victor MC Frijoler from Houston, Texas. He says, "Saludos, Patsy Torres and mi raza, que pasa?" We got Miss Velvet Ramirez out there from Phoenix, Arizona. George and Gracie Precias out there. Congratulations, Patsy Torres, on your drive for education. We have, check it out. Puro Pedo Talk Show in La Casa.
Wow. Hi.
Welcome to the show, my brothers. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My beautiful wife, Marta Hernandez, my beautiful wife. Without her, I could not do this. I could not be on the radio. She is like, she does everything. When I don't want to get up and go, when I don't want to get up and go do a gig, she's like taking the blanket off of me and saying, "Get up." And I'm like, "No, yeah." She's at pata, like they say, pata in the booty. That's what it is. So with all that being said, I read also you were on a CBS television. You were one of the first Tejano artists to hit the mainstream TV stations. CBS. It was SeaWorld. What was it?
A SeaWorld CBS special.
Yes.
And what happened was, it turns out that I made history because I was the first performer to ever perform Tejano music on national television.
That's what we were reading.
How is that possible? Because every time a Tejano artist had a chance to be on, they did an English song or a country song. They didn't do a Tejano song. So we made history when we did that. We didn't know it until a historian came and said, "You just made history." I was like, all right.
And then also you were on a little show called International Star Search.
Yeah.
You did your song Abrázame on that show, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they saw me on the CBS SeaWorld special, and they called me and they said, "We want you to do the same song you did.
Okay.
And we're gonna pay you this much." Everyone made the same money. You're not gonna win, but you're gonna say you're from Mexico because it's International Star Search. So they were representing different countries.
Yes,
so they would have three competitors from each, like dancing, singing, comic, and then they would have one from the country, and then they would have the other two Americans pretending to be from the other countries.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
How was that experience for you doing that with all the different acts and everything like that? What was it like for you to do both shows? As far
it was so fun, and I remember that the lady that was supposed to win was from Australia, and I remember she got real upset the way the audience had reacted to my performance. And she was like, I mean, I knew
you were too good. That's why.
I knew she was going to win, and I wasn't worried about it, but she just seemed like upset that the people were reacting to me like that. I mean, we got the same pay. I was like, eh.
See, me, my crazy stuff, I'd have been like, that's right. I would have been like, right there. That's how it goes.
She was good. I mean, everybody was good. In fact, they had a group from El Paso that did a folklorico dance, but they had to say they were from Mexico. Oh, and that was the thing.
Oh, wow.
When they told me to say I was from Mexico, and I said, I can't do that. They go, what do you mean? I said, well, I record Tejano music, and I'm known for Tejano music. And I said, I can sing the song you want, and I don't mind not winning, but I can't say I'm from Mexico.
Right.
So I thought they were going to go, forget it. But they went, okay.
Wow.
So when they did the interview, I said, I'm going to be doing what's called Tejano music from San Antonio, Texas. And it's a Texas. And I talked about what it was. It was the first time national and international television had ever seen that.
Wow.
That's so weird, right? It took so long.
Yes. And I gotta say, you're just a trailblazer. You're just a trailblazer in so many areas as far as the education goes, because that's real big with me, because a lot of us growing up, we don't have the chance to do that. So when I had kids, I wanted to make sure my kids at least went to school, had an education, paid attention, because we get so caught up in I'm going to play baseball, or I'm going to be a soccer player, or I'm going to be a basketball player, this or that or the other. Nobody ever says, hey, I want to be a teacher. And the funny thing, the small town where I'm from Bryan, Texas. The small town where I'm from, most of the kids that graduate from Bryan High School turn around and become teachers, and they grow up in this little bitty small town, right? And all they do is dream about getting out of it and going and see other places. But I go back every year because I used to work at the high school. I worked at high school for 5 years, and I go back every now and then, and I see a lot of these kids that grew up playing, volleyball. My daughter played baseball, soccer, whatever it is. They go back and they wind up going to A&M, and they become a teacher, and they go work in the same high school they went to high school in. And I think that's so cool because they can go anywhere they want to go to be a teacher these days. And teachers don't get paid a lot. They don't get a lot of recognition. They don't get paid enough. But
they don't get enough respect from the kids. No,
they don't. These days they don't. So for people to turn around and go and see what it's like for teachers, how they get treated, and to say, I want to be a teacher, I have a big admiration for those kids. So shout out to everybody out there decided they wanted to be a teacher. And the second one is, for me, what you have done and sustained in Tejano music is very commendable too, because like I said, it was hard for female artists back in the day. I've heard stories about female artists that were hard back in the day that didn't get the recognition or didn't get to do some of the shows that the male artists do.
And nobody would help either.
Yes.
None of the females back then when I started would help.
Yes.
They saw me as a competitor. They didn't want to help. So when I started getting some power, I was like, well, I'm going to help these other girls. And I started doing that.
I love that.
I still do it because that's the only way that Tejano music's going to keep going.
Yeah.
If we don't get the younger generation interested in it and performing in it. And so, I'm friends with so many girls. Like, there's so much talent out there. I mean,
I love that you have that mindset to help, to help others. I love that you have that mindset, because there is a lot of people that have that closed mindset. Oh, I'm not going to help them. I'm already made it up here. I'm not going to help anybody. One of the most famous people I remember hearing last year was George Lopez. George Lopez actually kind of made me kind of sad whenever he spoke out and said, I'm not going to help that comedian. It was another Hispanic comedian.
I heard about that.
Yeah, you heard about that. And that just kind of broke my heart, actually, because I looked up to him being where he was as a Latino, and we loved him. And then when he went on public record and said that, I was like, wow, why would you do that? There is enough for all of us. You've already made it, bro. Help us all out. Well, that's what we're here for, is to help each other.
Joke, right?
Yeah. So I'm just like, But I love how you don't think that way. You're a woman. You're a trailblazer. To me, you're Dr. Patsy Trailblazer Torres.
So real quick, I want to send a special shout out to Vicky V. She said, I used to be a special needs teacher for pre-K. It's sad because I don't, okay, they don't pay the teachers enough. And even some of the parents don't respect the teachers enough. Yes. I can't agree with that because I worked in a high school, and I'm going to tell you now, if I talk to a teacher or principal or somebody like the way they do now in high schools, some of the high schools, my grandparents would, because my grandparents raised me, and it was the one question I hated when I went to a new school is we have paddling here. Are you okay with us? Oh yeah, you don't have to even call me. I was like, really? Like, really? They don't have, like, you're not even gonna no. She's like, no, if he acts up, yeah, you got permission. And I had a principal when I first met him, he had a big paddle on this, like, propped up in his deal with a light on it. And I was like, bro, that, like, I'm going to a new school, and that's the first thing I see. I'm like, I want to.
With a light, like, oh,
Wow.
He had a light on it. It was lit up and everything, and it was engraved. And I was like, I want to go to a new school. I don't want to go here.
You already knew it was coming for you.
You'll be okay.
So with that being said, we'll backtrack. You started out like, we'll tell you everybody, catch up everybody, kind of get it, like, we'll give you the cliff notes of it. Started out in high school. You started as a trumpet player. Your sister was a saxophone player. You got in, you finished, you were in school. Then you started singing. What was it like for you to start singing? Was it nerve-wracking for you, or was it just
nerve-wracking? I was trembling, shaking. So I had a natural vibrato because I was like, because I was so scared. But I was also playing my trumpet because that was part of it. So I would play my trumpet with the keyboard player. So it would make it sound like it was brass. So I'd sing like maybe one song. In the beginning, it was just one song. And then I'd go in the back and do the rest of the gig with the keyboard player.
Real quick, Chrissy E says, always stay humble no matter what. I'm very blessed to have met so many kind people in the Tondo industry. Love you all.
Yes,
I'm hoping that we're starting a new dynamic of helping each other.
Yes.
I remember doing interviews, and they were saying, like I helped Selena in the beginning. I met her when she was in the little station wagon. They were like, oh, so you're going to do a concert with your competitor, Selena. And I said, competitor? I said, we're not boxers. We're friends.
There you go.
Oh, come on. Aren't you like, I go, no.
So that was going to be one of my other questions. What was it like to be back in those days where you had, I'm going to say it, I don't, if you get upset, I'm sorry, but closed-minded people that were like, we can't, you can't do this concert with Selena, or you can't do this concert with so-and-so because y'all are competing against each other. Y'all are trying to, you're trying to get her fans and we're trying to get their fans. What was it like? What was it like back then, like that?
Yeah,
with them.
Yeah, there were some artists that wouldn't want like me to play with. It was the artist, not the promoter.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
No. She's going to take my fans, and I'm not going to expose her to my fans because they had been in the business longer than me. I don't want to name any names, but that's just the way it was.
Wow. God, I hate that. I just hate that. I mean, like I said, there's so much out there for everybody. And why would you want to limit a person's experience to hear all of the Hano, what it has to offer?
It's gratifying to see, these girls that I've helped and to see them, flourishing. It's gratifying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of them. I tell them I'm proud of them because I'm not going to be here forever. And what's going to happen to Tejano music? This is our music. Tejano music is family music. It's loved by all ages. It's not like the genres. Either the older people are not going to like hip hop. The younger kids aren't going to want the classics and this. But with Tejano, everybody can enjoy it. Everyone wants to dance a cumbia.
And it's the truth. We see the little 2 and 3 year olds dancing, all the way
sitting on the grandparents.
Yeah. 70s to 80s out there still on that dance floor. It's our culture. And we have to spread our culture.
So I'm glad you
festivals more than clubs because that's when all the kids
you see everybody. Yeah. And here it's funny you say cumbia because whenever I do interviews and stuff, I always do my homework and stuff. And I came across something that Please, I hope you don't get upset, but I want to show a video right quick.
Aunque quieras disimularlo, si es que tan triste estás, ¿para qué quieres callarlo? Chiquitita, dímelo tú, en mi hombro aquí llorando. Cuenta conmigo ya para así seguir hablando. Tan segura te conocí y ahora toda la quebrada. Déjamela arreglar, yo la quiero ver curada. Chiquitita, sabes muy bien que las penas vienen y van y desaparecen. Otra vez vas a bailar y serás feliz como flores que florecen. Chiquitita, no hay que llorar, las estrellas brillan por ti allá en lo alto. Quiero verte sonreír para compartir tu alegría, chiquitita.
So tell me, what is it like to see that video from back in the day?
It just seems like it was just the other day.
I love the hairstyles and the outfits. I love looking at all that. It's so like I remember
I
that.
have this awesome hairstylist that she would change my hair, and of course my newest video is or my latest video was the Noticias Falsas video.
Oh, yes.
Which was so fun to do because now I'm a songwriter now. I write most of my music. In fact, the new album right here is full of the new music.
And I'm glad you brought that up because you know what? I have that loaded up right here, right now. Noticias Falsas, right here on TejanoLive.com. It's the All the Way Up podcast right here with that Barbie chick, DJ X-REY, and our beautiful special guest, Dr. Patsy Torres.
Thank you.
Interrumpimos este programa para darles las noticias de última hora.
Amigos míos, hay algo que debo decirles. Aunque los medios nos dan información, la ira está creciendo diariamente por noticias falsas con historias de ficción. Lo veo en las redes y noticias y lo escucho en el radio todo el tiempo. Todo el mundo se está volviendo loco, por eso te doy mi argumento. No, noticias falsas, Ya no quiero más noticias falsas, ya me cansé de las mentiras y amenazas. ¿Quién creemos es verdad o no? No noticias falsas, con escándalos y las conspiraciones. Es un negocio de malas intenciones. Quiero gritar, no más, no noticias falsas.
Y en más noticias, el grupo de Patsy Torres protagonizó un escándalo el fin de semana. No es inicial.
Ay, no más. Estamos siendo divididos por prejuicios y muchos juzgan a otros como un juez. No creas todo lo que escuchas y lo que lees, y solo la mitad de lo que ves. No noticias falsas, ya no quiero más noticias falsas, ya me cansé de las mentiras y amenazas. ¿Quién creemos es verdad o no noticias falsas, con escándalos y las conspiraciones. Es un negocio de malas intenciones. Quiero gritar, no más noticias falsas. Busca la verdad que no te engaña, en quien puedes confiar, mucho cuidado. Debes decir, no más noticias falsas.
Oh, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to TejanoLive.com. Your boy DJ X-REY, that Barbie chick, and the one and only Dr. Patsy Torres. That was Noticias Falsas from her new album. Go ahead, show everybody the album real quick. Show them the CD cover.
Actually, that one is from my last album. That's
okay.
This is the one that got Album of the Year at the Tejano Music Awards.
Yes, we saw that. Yeah.
So this one has Noticias Falsas that I wrote. Cumbia the, let's see, Dame tu corazón.
Yes.
Baila como la culebra. Papacito mío, about my father.
Wow.
This is the new one.
That's so cool.
Yes.
That is so cool. So here, real quick, I want to do another roll call because we have some other people pop in. Osvaldo Garcia, ¿cómo estás? How are you?
Hi.
Ronnie Lucero, a.k.a. Romelo, artist out of New Mexico. He is a very talented singer. He says, hi, Patsy, you're such an inspiration to so many artists. Met you for the first time at Fanfare last year, and I fell hard. Great to see you.
Aww.
Look at her, Mr. Suavecito, always flirting. Alejandro Garcia, hey, my brother, Alejandro, I got a surprise for you, my brother. So be patient. Shout out once again to everybody checking us out. The one and only Dr. Patsy Torres. I'm not saying Patsy Torres anymore. It's Dr. Roland Martinez. I was nervous. Let me see.
Interviewing her.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
he
this.
did fine.
It just went. He said he was so nervous interviewing you for the first time.
Come on, Roland.
Now, and we also have the one and only Miss Irene Mendoza, Glendale, Arizona, checking us out. We cover everywhere. We go from Michigan to California to Arizona, New Mexico. Kayla Ulrich, ¿cómo estás? Thank you for tuning in. George and Gracie Precias. Of course, the one and only tu amigo Pete Cursil de Leal, 956 RGV in La Casa. Thank you guys for tuning in so much. Thank you for spending some time with us. And we want to thank Dr. Patsy Torres for spending some time with us. And also, I got Mr. Lee Garza from Funky Town, Fort Worth, Texas. He never misses a show. Thank you so much, Lee, for tuning in. Setting positive goals for the younger generations to see that we as adults as fall down. But we as we fall down, we get up and try again until we get it right. So positive. Home training starts with the parents. I agree.
Absolutely.
Hey, there's a quote that I live by, and I think it would help everybody. It was by the famous Gandhi. And he said, live life like you're going to die tomorrow, but learn like you're going to live forever.
Wow. I like
In
that.
other words, always be learning.
I've
humans
always
are
said
meant
that.
to learn. We're meant to learn.
Yeah. I've always said continue to learn. Every day learn something. You're never too old to learn. Continue to learn. And like you were saying that when you went back to school later on in life, I was thinking you had more of an appreciation for the learning versus when we go younger, because I know that's how I feel when I learn something new from the people I meet in the industry, just soaking up their knowledge to something I may read. I have a library that I've started now. I have more of an appreciation for learning the things that I'm trying to pass on to my daughter or trying to learn from the industry. And we have to teach that to our kids. We have to. And you learn every day. You're never too old to learn something new.
You just touched on a point, Barbie, and that is that we as adults, we are role models to the younger generation. I mean, no matter who you are, if you're an adult, you are going to be a role model to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what you do, no matter your career or whatever. And if that person is a child or a niece or nephew or a friend or a fan, you're a role model and you influence them. And you have to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, that's what I tell X-REY all the time. I have a 6-year-old daughter and I'm 46. So in this stage of my life, I really, truly understand that my daughter sees everything that I do and she's learning from my actions along with what I'm teaching her. So it's very valuable and very important. And when you were talking about, both of y'all were talking about kids nowadays, how they might not have the appreciation for the learning, but how you were saying to help the other women out in the Tejano industry and you love to see them flourish. I was a cop for a long time. I was a police officer for 18 years. Yeah. And I worked
4'5" of her.
I'm 4'8", darn it. So give me those 3 inches. But my gun made up for the rest of it. Anyway, so
I got a big
I worked with kids. I was a school cop as well in my career, and I worked with kids. So I saw firsthand how the teachers interacted with the kids. And when I was when I first started out, I remember this one girl, and I'll never forget her, that she was a troubled junior high kid. So I saw her all the way from 6th grade to walk that stage. And I literally was in tears because she grew up in front of me. She would come into my office troubled, and she had been, bad things had happened at her house, and I helped her through that. And now she's went to college. She went to one of the Baptist colleges here in Houston, married and with a child. And it's a good feeling to see people that you've helped flourish. And I don't understand why people sometimes in the industry don't want to help, man. You're helping our society as well, our culture, our community. When you give your knowledge to somebody else free of charge, there's nothing in it, just wanting to help.
Actually, that is one of the things they teach you in school about knowledge. We're meant to share it. We're supposed to share it. We're not supposed to just keep it to ourselves. And there's a good saying that talks about you can have cars and houses and jewelry and furs or all this money, but you're going to be remembered more for the lives you touched than for all of the material things you owned. Yeah,
that's the legacy you leave behind. I constantly think about that now that I'm older and really grip the understanding of what a legacy is. And I want my child to be proud of me. So,
and you think about the kids, what's the world going to be like, for them?
True.
That's scary right now.
And
we have to do something now.
You know what I like about the Tejano industry where it's at right now is back in the older days, 80s, 90s, stuff like that. Young ladies, young men that said they wanted to be Tejano, they wanted to be musicians, they wanted to be singers. It was harder for the young girls to get into it now, but now the door is so wide open in Tejano music that you think I'm kidding. Andy Bustamante, Chrissy
I know, believe me, I know.
Stephanie Montiel, Elida. I mean, you see all these women nowadays and I think about it growing up back in the 80s and the 90s, because I was raised on Tejano music, and you didn't hear a lot of female artists that were singing Tejano music. It was a few, yourself, Shelly Lares, you had Selena, you had Elsa, but you didn't really have a lot. Now,
Ramirez,
yes,
the variety band. The thing is, there were a lot of girls that started, but they were just seen as fresh meat, and they got chewed up by musicians, promoters, DJs. I mean,
yes,
they got into drugs or they got pregnant and they were gone because
they were gone. Yeah,
I have all these old like pamphlets and magazines and stuff from all the years, and you open them up and you see all these artists, girls, and you're like, what happened to them?
They're nowhere to be found anymore. Yeah.
I just interviewed right after Fanfare an awesome artist. She's out of Corpus too. Her name is Stephanie Abriana from Stephanie Abriana and Stephanie Abriana band. She told me she at 18 back in the day when Selena was hitting and everything like that, she had signed a record deal and everything, and she went through the whole thing of being frustrated because she would record but nothing would get put out, nothing would get played. So after a while she just kind of went away. She got her, she got married, she had kids, she got into real estate, and now that she's big in real estate and she's established, now she's getting back into music, and she says it's so refreshing to be able to go and play without having the stereotypes, the pressure and everything of being a female artist. She goes, because now female artists are accepted that we can go play festivals and everybody's listening to us.
Right.
As where back in the day, it was only a certain few people that supported because they didn't want to get blackballed themselves, which I think we've taken a big step in Tejano music as far as being able to say, okay, we're going to support everybody now.
Yeah.
Well, there were certain promoters back then. They're kind of around, but not really. They don't have that power anymore. But back then, there were these promoters and managers of certain artists to make sure that other artists didn't get played, didn't get promoted, didn't get booked. And that's why it was so hard back then.
Yes. And
now they don't have that power, but they did.
Yes.
And that's why all these girls were knocked down. That's why what happened to them.
Well, I'm glad, Miss Dr. Patsy Torres is led the way for the generation coming in now, or the women that are coming back into the industry, that you led that way. You've paved the way for them to have more of that acceptance. And because it makes a big difference, because you get nervous. Like, it's almost like I have to compare it to me when I went into the industry of law enforcement. It is a male dominated culture, and they don't accept women, honestly, especially a 4'8" Latina. They're like, what are you doing? Are you here to clean the room or what? It was hard. It was hard going through the academy. So I know what it is to be a woman in a male dominated field. And that's something that you love, that you've dreamed of, you've always wanted to do. I went home in tears a lot of times, but I never quit. I wouldn't let them let me quit. And I kept going and going.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I bet your children are very proud of you too.
I hope so.
I want to send a big shout out to Jeremy Olivares and the Fort Bend County Vaqueros Trail Riders. Believes in benefiting youth and supporting education. They throw their trail rides and everything else, but they are big. They're big supporters. They do fundraisers. They really hammer education and stuff like that. So shout out to the Fort Bend County Vaqueros out there. Thank you guys so much.
What you do.
I can't wait to see you guys on January 19th. We're going to rock it. Their first pre-trail ride event they're going to have. Yeah. DJ X-REY is going to be live in the mix, and I'm bringing Tejano out to East Bernard.
Hey, can I come?
What's that?
Are you riding horses?
Yes. They're actually doing.
No, are you riding a horse?
Actually, they're for
riding horses.
Actually, I believe for their trail ride into the livestock show and rodeo here in Houston, I think we're working on trying to get a trailer where I can set up my speakers and everything. And while we're doing the trail ride down the road, we're gonna be playing Tejano music for everybody.
That would be cool. I don't know about you being on a horse. That would be hilarious.
You need to see one of my videos. No amenazas. You'll see me on a horse.
Oh, cool.
You know what? I've actually seen a couple.
You've probably seen it.
So real quick for Alejandro out there, he's been asking if you were gonna remake Oh No, or if you could play Oh No, and guess what? You actually sent me, is it the remake of it or is it the old version?
It's actually a new song that I just wrote. But you know what? He's not the first one to ask me about that. And you know what? I'm gonna do it because of you.
Oh,
right here on this podcast.
Yes, because
Alejandro Rios, you just inspired Patsy Torres to do a remake.
Thank you.
But for right now,
you want to play my other Oh No?
Yes, we are right now. You go ahead and introduce it. We'll let you introduce the song and take us into it.
Well, it's Oh No, There's No More Love. Actually, it's not just Oh No like the other song was. Oh No, There's No More Love, and it's something I wrote, and it's real different. Check it out.
Right here on TejanoLive.com.
Estaba enamorada y muy feliz. Nunca pensé que estaría sin ti. Hasta el día que dijiste a mí que no, no, oh no, ya no hay amor. Estaba enamorada y muy feliz. Nunca pensé que estaría sin ti. Hasta el día que dijiste a mí que no, no, oh no, ya no hay amor. Noche y día lloré por ti, tantas horas yo sufrí. No puedo seguir así, si no, no, oh no, ya no hay amor. Traté de continuar, es difícil de olvidar. Cuando te veo con alguien me hace llorar. Era un amor desigual, es mejor que sea el final. Vete a olvidar este mal, si no, no, oh no, ya no hay amor. Pero encontré un nuevo amor y sé la verdad, que soy valiosa y sé que puedo amar. Bueno, si me pides perdón, quieres darme todo tu corazón. No es posible por esa razón, porque no, no, oh no, ya no hay amor. Ya no hay amor por ti. Soy feliz sin ti. Tengo un nuevo amor que me quita mi dolor.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's TejanoLive.com. It's your boy DJ X-REY, that Barbie chick, and the one and only Dr. Patsy.
Doctor.
She's laughing because I was doing my flashlight and everything. But hey, you know, I love that remake because it everything you incorporated into it. It's a beautiful song. Beautiful song.
Well, it's original. It's just written. The other Oh No that he's talking about.
Yes,
was written by someone else. It's completely different.
Yeah, and that's what he said to. He goes, no, not that one. He goes, but he says he's going to brag to all his friends and everybody.
Yeah, I saw that. He's going to brag.
But I'm going to have to redo it because he wants it.
Here, real quick, we're going to do another roll call. Shout out to my boy Elias Benitez, E45, Houston, Texas, in the house. Stand up. Crisilda Leal, 956, Ana Castillo, ¿cómo estás? Thank you for tuning in. Yolanda Gonzalez Aldaco from And she is actually the wife and the mother of two of the band members of Junior Aldaco and the Midwest All-Stars. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Alejandro, my boy, shout out to you. You got a new song coming out from Miss Patsy Torres, so be on the lookout. And of course, Osvaldo Garcia, Ronnie Lucero, aka Romelo, aka Mr. Suavecito. That dude will hit on anybody. But if you get hit on by Ronnie
from New Mexico.
Yes, he is. He is actually from.
See, my husband is Lucero. He's from New Mexico.
Oh, really? Yeah, hey, you never know. You might be from the same tree.
New Mexico in my heart.
I believe he was, he's from Pueblo, Colorado, but he resides in Albuquerque now. And he's a big supporter of my show. And we actually work together. I help him out with some stuff like that. So with all that being said, shout out to Nissa Roman Boricua. Shout out to her. I always have to do that because she's a big time supporter at thehanalive.com and everything we do. So with everything, education, getting your doctorate and your master's and everything you've done, being a trailblazer from, being one of the first Tejano people to be on national televised show, traveling to China, Germany, everything else like that. What would you say is the most memorable moment in your career? If you had to pinpoint just one, you could pick anything from the start to the end of where you're at now, in the middle, beginning, anything. What is one thing you just look and you go, wow?
Oh, the one I mentioned, Berlin, that was one. China was the other one. Also, when we performed in Mexico at in Monterrey, 110,000 people live, and they were singing my song Te Juro with me. And it's just people as far as you could see, and they're singing the song that I wrote, my first hit that I wrote, and they're singing it. They're going, Juro, Juro, and it's just reverberating. Wow. It's just, you can't describe the feeling.
Can you do that one more time?
Te juro.
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
So and I wrote that actually for my husband, David Lucero, from New Mexico, because once we got married, it was like these other artists couldn't accept that I was married and not single anymore. And I wrote it, Te Juro, that he's the only one. He's the only one I love. He's the only one I'm going to be with. And that's what the song was. It was a proclamation.
And my wife is actually from Monterrey, Mexico, and I've actually been there twice. The first time I went, to Mexico, Monterrey. Period. The first thing that I can remember is she took me to the big mountain that has the waterfall and everything. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, beautiful country. And it's kind of cool to go back and see, I say that's my heritage because I'm Mexican. I tell everybody, they tell you, you're from Texas, you're not from Mexico. My family originates from Mexico. So I am Mexican. I'm not Chicano. I'm not this, that, or the other. You can put any label you want to.
Where were
but
you born?
I was born in Bryan College Station in Bryan, Texas, but my family is from Santo Pocio or something like that.
You're Mexican American.
Yes, I am. But
my father was from San Luis Potosí, Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And I have my citizenship. I have my Mexican passport and my American passport.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. And my kids, I joke with my son because he's still playing ball and he's still thinking about playing baseball. I said, well, you could go play for the Mexican Olympic team. He goes, how can I do that? I said, because you have your mom who is from Mexico and you have your dad that's from the United States. So you could actually play for either one. And he was
you know what? Because your wife is Mexican, he can get a passport.
Yes.
Mexican passport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And that's what I told him. And he was kind of like, oh, wow. So that's one of the big things about us is we want to make sure that both heritages are acknowledged because that's who we are.
That's what makes our country great.
Yes.
It is.
I learned traveling all over the world was that America is we're a baby country. We're the result of all these countries that came here, except for, of course, our Native Americans.
Yes.
And the Indian tribes, which all of us have that in us.
Yes.
All of us do.
Yes.
But
Yes.
other than that, we're just babies. I mean, when I went to Turkey, for example, I was walking through cities that were over 3,000 years old, and there's nothing like that here.
Yes.
We're like 1776, you know, and 1492 when Columbus discovered America. So I mean, we're babies over here. We're still learning. We're little brats, you know, learning to walk and getting into things.
I love
be something about Monterey, because remember when we had Cindy Ramos on and we asked her what her most memorable moment was, it was in Monterey as well. And 110,000 people. I cannot even fathom that.
Just imagine being up, because they have giant stages, and just imagine people heads as far as you could see. And unlike here, like when you see the concerts here, there's a little bit of a space, but they're just like right up
like that.
Each other, like the heads are like
that.
All you could see were heads, just as
and then to hear them singing your song that you wrote, your first song, that I understand why that's your most memorable moment now. And I feel left out. I need to go to Monterey. All of y'all been to Monterey. I need to go. I want to have a memorable moment.
Also, they're so loving. When you get off, they're like,
I keep hearing
women
that.
kiss you and hug you, and they just like, oh, they love it. They're so.
Okay, I'm going.
So with what you just said, that everybody's hugging, kissing you, wanting to say hi to you. What is it like for you to look back now and say the amazing career that you've had? You're an icon in Tejano music. I
still get the hugs and kisses.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So to be an icon, a Tejano legend, and to still have people come up to you and still want your autograph, still want you to hug and kiss you, and just be around you. What is that like for you? Because it's got to be so real. It's got to be surreal.
It's an appreciation that as long as they're the ones that motivate me to continue going, to continue writing music, to continue being involved in my community and learning and doing all these things and wanting to help others. They're the ones that motivate me. And I want to set a good example for them, you know, just whether it's education, whether it's morals and values, or how you treat someone else. You know, I want to set an example. You know, I don't want to let them down. So that's the way I look at it. I appreciate it.
You're doing a great job for sure.
And for the people that don't know, you are nominated for Tejano Mundial Awards. A couple of them, aren't you, in a couple of categories?
For entertainer and for my song called Patsy's Throwback Medley. Like, was it Alfonso? No, what was his name? The one that wants me to do Oh No? Alejandro. Well, what I did was, you know, a lot of bands were doing medleys, you know, of different artists. And I said, you know what, I better do a medley before someone does a medley of mine. and I'm not going to like it. So I took 3 of my songs from the 80s that were hits back then, put it into a medley, and then did a new arrangement. My band did another arrangement because I have a brass section in my band. And back then there was no brass in those records. Put the brass in there, made it into a medley. We call it Patsy's Throwback Medley, and I did it in the original keys that I originally sang it in.
Oh, that is so.
Because you know how your voice changes.
Yeah, as you mature. Yeah.
So I was determined to do it in the same key.
Are you going to be at the award show?
Yes.
I will be there. I get to meet you in person. Please take a picture with me.
Well, if you haven't voted yet, I
have voted. But yeah, tell everybody out there, go vote, guys.
So I'm up for entertainer, Patsy Torres, and for my song, which is Patsy's Throwback Medley.
All right, Alejandro, you hear that? You need to go vote, Alejandro.
Yes, Alejandro. Do y'all have the link?
Do we have the link?
Yes, we do. I will post it on the page, on my page, and the TejanoLive.com page later on. Once we finish the interview, we do have the link and all that other stuff. So I'll make sure we post that out and everything else. And that way we can all make sure everybody votes, because like I said, I like to support everybody that comes on the show, and I appreciate you taking some time to sit down with us, because I know it's a busy schedule these days.
All of your listeners and watchers, all those that are tuned in right now. You know,
I can't wait
thank
to meet you. Yay.
Likewise. I'm gonna be looking for this little cute girl. Where is she?
Yeah, you gotta look down. Gotta look down.
Oh my God.
People don't believe. It's so funny when people meet me for the first time. They're like, "Wow, I didn't realize you were that short." I'm like, "Well, I'm that Barbie chick, and I'm that short."
That's so cute. Oh.
Okay, so here's something I just found. You were talking about the medley, and I think I found the one you're talking about. Patsy Torres throwback medley. Let me see if this is the one.
No le he podido olvidar. Sí, no lo puedo
But it's hard because I'm singing at the same time.
Que no puedo olvidar. Cuánto lo quiero.
This was like
Sufro me
before.
muero por verlo una vez más. Es que no puedo olvidarlo yo. Mi pensamiento dice que estaría para olvidar. Me dice que estaría para olvidar.
I like it.
This song was 1980. This one coming up. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. 81.
Mi casa está vacía. Desde que te fuiste, no hay nadie en mi vida. Desde que me dejaste, mi casa está vacía. No dejaste herida que me hizo mucho daño. Y al despertar por la mañana, yo me acuerdo más de ti. Al saber que nunca más vuelves a mí. Y al despertar por la mañana, solo quiero yo morir, recordando que me amabas y que yo te amaba a ti. Quiero sentir el amor contigo. Quiero acercarme a tu cuerpo, amarte así. Un amor contigo. Tu boca, un beso de amor.
This was 1988. This
Wow.
Por nuestro
And it's by the late Luis Silva, very famous Tejano songwriter.
Necesito de ti. Sientas mi pasión. Sepas que yo estoy enamorada de ti. Quiero tu amor. Quiero tus besos. Quiero en tus brazos. Quisiera dormir. Quiero tu amor. Quiero tus besos. El amor contigo. Y me imagino.
Wow.
Eso.
Eso.
I always have to let it finish out because then I like the last ending of it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in to TejanoLive.com. It's the All the Way Up podcast with your host, DJ X-REY, that Barbie chick, and Dr. Patsy Torres. Thank you so much for tuning in. Real quick, Jeremy Olivares with the Fort Bend County Vaqueros Trail Riders will be honored for you to ride with us anytime. You and your
I would love that.
He said, we will have a horse saddled up and ready. He said, let's go.
Yeah.
Can y'all get a little pony for me? A pony?
No, they don't have ponies. You're gonna have to just stay on the sidelines with the little plastic horse.
Now, I know why Barbie is called Barbie. Now, why are you X-Ray?
Because when I started DJing, I was working for a sound company, and the owner of the company says, "Hey, you can enunciate pretty good." I was like, "Really? Me?" He goes, "Yeah."
How did you get the name X-Ray?
Well, when I started doing it, my name is Ray, and my kids and everybody were like, "Why don't you?" I just came up with it. I was just like, "I'm just going to be X-Ray." That's it. Because
if you like look through people.
Everybody says that, and it's funny because the owner of the company, when it first started, he goes, X-Ray. He goes, "What kind of name is that?" I said, "Don't worry about it. It's going to stick." And now it sticks. And here's the funny thing. I do a lot of promotions for concerts and stuff like that down here. I don't DJ as much. I just do private events like Jeremy Olivares, Fort Bend County Vaqueros and stuff like that. But everybody comes up and goes, X-Ray. They don't call me by my name anymore. I'm X-Ray. Like everybody calls me X-Ray.
I do. I know I do.
And when my wife is standing around and we're talking to people, they go, "Do people know your name?" I said, "Yeah, I tell everybody my name." That they still like, hey, like somebody, "Hey, go get X-Ray," or "Hey, X-Ray." They don't call me Ray anymore. So X-Ray is like, I'm legally going to change it to
I'm not legally changing my name to Barbie. But yeah, funny story about mine. Actually, my name, that Barbie chick, was actually from a hater. A hater called me out and told her dude that she was talking to, "Hey, are you gonna go talk to that Barbie chick?" And when he told me about it, I was like, "What?" And so I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna take that negative and make it a positive, baby." Hey,
yeah. And she's even more jealous now.
I don't know.
Oh, Miss Dr. Torres, I'm gonna get with Jeremy and I'm gonna get with him and find out that I know they have a pre-trail ride, like a starter to kick off the season coming up January 19th. January 19th. It's in East Bernard. I'm going to get with him. I'm going to find out some info, and I will, if you cannot make it to that one, I'm going to see when the next one is. And I'm going to, he's already cordially invited you, and I'm going to send an invite for the next one. So we're going to have you come out and we're going to get you on a horse. I'm going to make sure we get it on Tejano Live. We're going to put it on our website and everything.
One of my fantasies is to.
Wait a minute. Okay, it's after now. It's after.
It's to perform singing on a horse.
You know what?
Like Antonio Aguilar used to, right?
You know what? I'm going to talk to
dancing horse.
I'm going to talk to Jeremy. We're going to see if we can make that happen. Exactly. I'm going to get with Jeremy and see if we can make that happen. So,
no, where are they from? Houston or?
They're from Richmond, Rosenberg, East Bernard area.
Oh, that's the Houston area, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
an ride by San Antonio.
Yes, you know what? Actually, I guarantee you, we're gonna make something happen. Jeremy already said it. He said done. He said
awesome.
Done.
So you're gonna be singing on a horse, and we're gonna make sure it's one that prances and does the dancing and everything. And hey, and then after that, he said, let's do a video. He said, why don't you do a video? So hey, there you go. Look at that. The all the way up podcast is bridging and bringing everybody together. We're gonna get Patsy Torres on the horse. Now, if there's any accidents, we didn't have anything to do with it.
I know.
We're out.
We'll have to be on soft ground.
No,
I
man,
had
I'm just kidding.
accidents when I used to ride a lot.
He said Western Tejano. There you go. So with everything being said, this has been a very fun interview. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on. I remember I was nervous when I saw you at the All-Star Music Awards. I was going up to you and I was telling my wife, I said, that's Patsy Torres. That's Patsy Torres. And she's like, go say hi and ask her. I said, it's Patsy Torres. I was like frozen. I felt like a 12-year-old kid at a school dance trying to ask somebody to dance for the first time.
Funny.
Because we were soaking wet. It was just a horrible day being out there and everything.
I know.
I am so glad that we finally got to get the interview down and learn some more about you. And I hope the listeners have learned a lot more about you and come to appreciate you more as an artist, as a person, as a supporter of education and everything like that. So with that being said, do you have any shows coming up? Are you performing anywhere? Are you any works on a new album or?
Well, the latest, this is the latest album. In fact, you just played that Oh No song and no one else. I haven't released it yet.
Are you serious?
We had a lot of firsts on this podcast. Oh my goodness.
It hasn't been released. So that was a sneak preview. That's going to be the next release.
Hey, watch out. Hey, check it out. Hey, we were the first ones, Aliyah. That is so awesome.
That's the one I'm promoting right now. That's the one I just released. So if you play that, that would be great. And we're going to be doing a video on that. We're going to be doing a CD release party in the next few weeks. We're still setting that up because we want to get away from all the people tired from New Year's and stuff.
Holidays.
Yes. Please send us the info for that because I would love for the folks to come out and be a part of your CD release and everything. Yes. And also, if you're looking to do the Oh No video, hey, East Bernard Trail Ride, Jeremy, where you at, Jeremy? We may have
the video we're going to do is for Vive con Ganas.
Oh,
interesting!
Wow, on a horse.
The song talks about doing everything with ganas. You know,
there you go.
That's how I wrote it because I was like,
con ganas.
Everything you do, you should do it con ganas. And there's not one word in English that is ganas. It's so many words. It's desire, it's passion, it's energy, it's gusto. It's all those things in one song. And it's saying whatever you do, dancing, working, praying, riding a horse, do it with ganas.
Watch it. Jeremy again. Jeremy says done. Yes. He says all you got to do is get in contact with me, and we're done. He says we'll get it done. And Nilsa says if you do a video, you can wear a cowboy hat, and then on the other one you can do a mariachi outfit for this. For
I have a beautiful mariachi outfit that I would love to be on a horse.
So have you ever done? Have you ever sang mariachi? Like have you ever done
mariachi? Yeah.
Really?
Yes. In fact, my song, the one off the other album, Papacito Mio, is actually mariachi style. It's about my father after he passed away, and it's about him. Any fathers that are in heaven, I wrote that song for fathers that are in heaven.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hey guys, make sure y'all go and check out her Facebook page. Follow her. Her merchandise is on there as well. The link to the shop.
Check this out.
I saw the shirt. I saw it on your. I love it. I love pink and black. So
And then We also have a tote bag.
Yes, I saw the tote bag.
And it's a combo. So go to my website, patsytorres.com. And that's where the combo is on special if you get it all. Also, you'll see my videos and you'll hear my music and pictures and what's going on. And I also do a Patsy Cline tribute. I don't know if you knew that.
Wow.
I love Patsy Cline. Oh no.
Yes, and it just happened like an accident because I was doing this 50s show and I love doing stuff to have fun, music. I love all the genres. And I was being Connie Francis. And I was singing.
Is that picture that you have where you're there with two other women and?
Well, that's the Dreamliners. That was 60s music.
Yeah,
that led to the Dreamliners after Patsy Cline.
Okay.
But I had this wig and I was singing Connie Francis. She's the Where the Boys Are. Remember her?
Yes.
Wow.
I heard that song.
I was doing this Connie Francis thing, and this theater saw me on Facebook and thought I was doing Patsy Cline. So they contact me and they're like, so do you do Patsy Cline? And I'm thinking I knew Crazy. That's it.
Yes.
And I was like, yes. They go, okay, well, we'd like to hire you and you'll be doing 4 songs and you'll be doing, and I was like, huh?
Wow.
And I didn't say anything. I was like, okay.
That's awesome. So after the show, after the show, you guys can find out. I'm going to post patsytorres.com on my Facebook and TejanoLive.com. You guys can go check it out. You can check out her biography. You can check out her merchandise. You can get her new CD, the packs, the package she's selling, all of that stuff. Go ahead and give your social media pages so they can find you and follow you, because we like to make sure everybody that comes on gets the maximum exposure. I mean, you don't really need it because you're Patsy Torres.
Of course
you're Dr. Patsy Torres, but please put it out there and everything so people can find you. They can follow you whenever you come out to the Fort Bend County Vaqueros. They can follow you out there, but please feel free.
Follow them.
Hey, do that. I tell you right now, they are a very special group of people. Jeremy is an awesome leader of that organization. They're very good people. They love to have a good time, but they always make sure they support a good cause. So
Jeremy.
This is your time. We're going to give you the last part of the interview to go ahead, and if you want to thank anybody, shout out, you want to give your social medias, all that stuff, please feel free to do it, because we want to give you this time. Thank you. Booking information.
I'm on TikTok, Instagram. I've got 2 pages on Facebook. One is the one that has the limit, of course, only 5,000. So I prefer people go to the artist one. It's a little harder to find, but that way all you have to do is like it and we can connect. I'm on Messenger also, www.patsytorres.com, where you can connect with me also. And I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, X-REY, and that girl for having me, inviting me and having me. And I've really enjoyed this interview. Thank you. You have asked me questions others haven't. And you're talking about, I've done a lot of interviews. So
wow, that is
new. I'm like, wow. I mean, I had to think. Usually I'm like, boom, boom. Yeah, I know. But
that means a lot to me.
That means a lot to me too. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Because, you did your homework, and you're easy to talk to. You're down to earth and real, and I appreciate it, and I enjoyed it. And I thank you. And I'm sure your watchers and listeners, what would you call them? Watchers and listeners?
Viewers, I guess.
Viewers.
Yeah.
Followers. Obviously, they see that in you too. And
I call them family and friends.
Thank you to them.
Thank you. I call them family and friends because a lot of them have been following me since day one that I started doing the radio and doing Facebook and interviews and stuff like that. So a lot of these people have been around since I first started. And when I first started, we had like 5 people that watched, and I was like, it slowly started to build up. But thank you so much. And I try my best because I want everybody to feel comfortable when they come on and they sit down with us. And I want to get questions that a normal listener would want to ask. So thank you so much for your compliments and everything. It means a lot to me. And real quick, Chrissy E says, Dr. Patsy Torres, please listen to my music. I'm adding some in there. Would love your opinion, feedback of all my music.
Sure.
Legend and inspiration to women of Tejano. Much love and aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Her husband, she does a lot of Hawaiian and infused Tejano music. They
Isn't that
infuse
the coolest thing?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
because her husband is actually from Hawaii. Hawaii. So yes, please check them out so much. She's a very talented artist. Her husband and both of them are very good people. So if you get a chance, check them out. Chrissy E. Thank you so much again, Dr. Patsy Torres.
Is
Thank
that
you.
Chrissy with a C or a K?
It's Chrissy with a C. C. Here, I'll put it up for you right now.
CHRISSY and then E.
It's right there.
Oh, CR, not CH. Sorry.
It's CRISS and then a capital E. Thank you again so much for sitting down.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting TejanoLive.com, the All the Way Up podcast.
Yes.
I haven't been on every day like I normally have, but I will be back on Mondays and Wednesdays. Wednesdays will be our Tejano Free for All show. If you haven't heard, I play everything from old school, new school, everything in between. We'll have you spinning by the time you finish. Thank you so much again, Dr. Patsy Torres. That Barbie chick. Shout out to Fort Bend County Vaqueros out there. We're gonna make that happen. They said they're gonna get you on a horse. So and I know Jeremy, he's gonna hit me up until you show up and get on that horse. George and Gracie Precias, thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, thank you. God bless. Good night. We will kick you again on the flip side.